Why hello folks, we're heading into an early spring here in Alberta, but thankfully we've managed to get some of those winter camping trips in using the Dream House Teepee Hot Tent and also the Gear Top single man tent which I used just a few weeks ago. Now we've since discovered this RioRand Topwind all-season tent and I'm actually here today to give it a try out to see how it compares with the others. So stay tuned to see what I find out. So as I mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at the RioRand Topwind 4-season tent. Now it comes in this great little carry bag. It's obviously got the fasteners here so you can compact it down more if you like. And obviously this little carry handle. Now it weighs approximately 2.5 kilos, so it isn't the lightest of tents, probably not suitable for those of you that would want a tent for backpacking. But let's take a look inside and see what's in there. So this is obviously the little peg bag. From what I understand, there are 11 pegs in here and 2 guy ropes. We also have aluminium tent poles, and then obviously the ground sheet in the inner tent and the fly sheet. So let's get things set up. So it looks like it's a pretty good size. I'm hoping to sleep in here tonight, obviously solo and probably with Wilson. I'm now going to peg out the 4 corners. Now the ground may be a little bit hard because obviously it's still quite frozen in places. I may have a little trouble putting the pegs in, but let's see how we get on. So the pegs, as you can see, they'll go in this little bit here. And actually I'm surprised that the ground isn't actually as hard as I was expecting. And that peg has gone in pretty easily. Okay, time to get the poles in. Now these poles are very similar to the ones that are used for the Gear Top, which are really simple and obviously really light. And you can see here that there's a sleeve that the pole slides through. And pole number 2. And I actually love it when poles really do go in as easily as this. And at each end of each pole there's this kind of little plug, and that just quite easily fits into this eye here. And then obviously we have to lift the poles to get the dome shape. Okay, so that's the inner tent up. It gives you an idea of the shape and size of the tent. It's very well ventilated. It's actually got 2 doors, 2 entrances, and both doors have this mosquito net, which is great for ventilation. Okay, so let's go and take a look inside. So the floor is polyester and it has tape seams, and in the corner there all of this is taped. It has the 2 pockets there, and of course on the other side. And if you look above, it also has this netting in the ceiling, so to speak. Yeah, it looks certainly looks pretty well made inside here. Okay, let's get the fly sheet on and get that checked out. So with the fly sheets, there's like a little hoop here. This little bit actually ties on to give it a little bit more secure. And rather than double pegging, we have this clip that just quite easily fits in there. Now what's quite nice about this tent is with it being a 4-season one, is you also have this snow skirt. So if you do get those heavy snowfalls, you do have that protection from the elements. So as I mentioned earlier, this tent does come with guy ropes, and these would be attached to these little loops here. However, we're not expecting any high winds tonight, so I'm not going to bother connecting them at the moment. Now if we take a look here, the entrance has got the Velcro to make sure that it keeps that zip secure. It's not a branded zip, but it's got the Velcro to give that rain seal protection from the elements. And what's nice about this tent is it has quite a nice, generous vestibule or porch, front and back. And with this front one, if you've got a couple of poles or some decent sized sticks, you could actually turn it into quite a nice little porchway there for a little bit of extra shelter. Okay, so if we have a quick look around the outside of the tent, the top here we have this vent, and again it has the Velcro to keep it secure. Now this is great because it'll help to reduce that condensation, particularly during the winter months, as the tent will sweat in there. And it has plenty of peg points to keep things secure. Here's the back entrance, or the back porchway. And as with the front, it has this very secure zip there. Yeah, it's quite a nice looking tent. I'm quite looking forward to spending the night in there tonight. Okay, so I'm going to get camp set up and then get some food on the go. So we came across this little wood stove here. It's actually made of titanium, and it's got a cute little face on the front. It's a little bit smaller than some of the other wood stoves that we've used, so I'm going to be using this to cook my tea this evening. I've got a little bit of wood ready, but I just need to get a little bit more just to make sure we get some flames and I can get some tea down me tonight. Hey buddy, have you come to help? These ones are too small for you, sweetheart. Well, I have to say that this little guy did a fantastic job of cooking a very hearty meal this evening. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this, and then I shall be making myself a cup of tea before hitting the hay for the night. So yeah, it's very quiet here tonight. I'm actually out at Crimson Lake, which is near the town of Rocky Mountain House. It's very quiet, lovely and peaceful tonight. Lovely starry night. I think it's going to get quite chilly tonight. I think the temperature's going to be around about -5, -6, which isn't too extreme, but still. It'll certainly be a good test of the tent to see how well it copes in those cold conditions, although as ever, I do of course have a great sleeping system, and I've got a nice snug warm sleeping bag, and of course Wilson's got his own little sleeping bag too. So yeah, it's been a great night so far. Well, it's time for bed now. It's gone midnight and it's getting a little bit chilly to be sitting outside now. I'm very surprised that tonight not only have I got Wilson in here, but Tilly has joined me too, which is very surprising. At the moment, there's plenty of room. There's not a squeeze at all. It should be nice and cosy in here for the night. So I shall see you all in the morning. Sleep tight, everybody, and sweet dreams. Night night. Well, good morning everybody. I've had a pretty decent night's sleep there last night. I ended up being joined by Wilson, Tilly and then April in the early hours of this morning. Quite cosy in here. Great night's sleep, all of us stayed nice, snug and warm. We're all a little peckish now, so we're going to get some breakfast and I shall be back shortly to let you know what I think about this tent. Okay, so what do I really think about this RioRand Topwind 4-season tent? Well, my initial thoughts are that I really do like it. Now there's a surprise. Obviously I haven't been able to test it in extreme winds or heavy rains, but certainly for those sub-zero temperatures that we encountered last night, I thought it was great, and it certainly gets the thumbs up from me. The material is really great quality. As I mentioned, I think yesterday, all the seams are taped, which is great for those weather conditions if we did get any rain. One of the things I did like is I'm one of those sleepers when I'm camping that gets up in the middle of the night, and I quite liked having this porch area because I wasn't fumbling around in the dark too much. I was able to find my shoes and do all that kind of thing. So this is really handy. And again, if it was raining or anything like that, you've obviously got that shelter to keep things dry. Now, when I was putting this tent up yesterday, I was a little bit concerned about the size of it. Now, I'm 5'7", and as you can see, when I lie down, there isn't a great deal of space between my head and my feet in terms of touching the side. Now, if you're around about 6 feet, I think you're going to have trouble sleeping in this tent, and you might end up having to sleep diagonally. But given that this is supposed to be a two-person tent, I'm not sure how that would work unless your partner is very, very small. And one of the other things I found is that because of that lack of space around my feet, my sleeping bag was actually touching the sides overnight. Now, there's absolutely no condensation in here whatsoever. It was perfectly dry. But the problem was, because my feet were touching the sides, it melted the ice that had built up on the outer tent. And then, of course, that caused the moisture. Obviously, we didn't get any snow last night, so this snow skirt that I mentioned yesterday didn't get any use. What's good about this snow skirt, though, during the summer months is that if you need that extra draft to reduce condensation, you can actually roll it back and just clip it into place like so. So there you go, that's the RioRand Topwind 4-season tent. It's first use and I'm very impressed with it. We obviously didn't get the conditions in terms of rain and wind, so we're really looking forward to using this again during the summer months just to test it out a little further, and I'll feed back to you on how it fares. And of course, if you want to see how we get on using it next time, please do consider subscribing and of course like the video. And if you've got a similar tent or you've got any other suggestions, please do comment below. In the meantime, thanks again for joining me, and I shall see you all again on our next adventure.